Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and here we are. I wanted to do something new, or at least I'm going to try to. Each game, the key takeaways and the key points that we got from the game. And I wanted to take a look at yesterday's game, the first game against the Celtics. We won 138-134. There were many players on the Celtics who scored double digits. Our key guy is Jaylen Brown, who scored 46 points in 46 minutes. And basically, it's a point a minute. Robert Williams helped defensively. He was pretty cool. Tatum got shut down just a little bit. He had a very soft 20 and 11 because RJ kind of kept him pretty good. From a Knicks perspective, what did we have? We had RJ scoring 19, 5, and 2. Randle 35, almost a triple double. Randle if he had the chance. 17 and 11. Evan Fournier came up huge for us. Evan Fournier was amazing. 32 points, hit all those dagger threes, missed a little bit, but we can kind of work with that. Kemba probably needs to work. He was too excited. He was very nervous. He saw his old friends. He was kind of like not flopping around, but like falling all over the place. His old Boston teammates, when they would get a point or so, a tough play, he would give them high fives. Remember which team you're on, my friend. Alec Burks, I think, came in fairly well. He had a good pass from a timeout into a pass that he got to Fournier, who laid it up, which I thought was really good. Jericho played. He was there. IQ. Thibs kind of shut him down a little bit after a while, but he'll learn. No worries. Percentage, 48% from three, 48% from the field, to the Celtics 41. Three-pointers, 37% to 36, and free throws, they outscored us, but they beat us by rebounds by 1, and that's with 17 rebounds by Mitch, right? 34 assists, so they out-assisted us, which is interesting because when you got the team on the Knicks and those guys can pass, first game, it happens. We got more blocks. They stole the ball from us a lot, and turnovers were just about equal, but we had a lot of points in the paint, which is very promising. More shots were outside of the paint than they were inside. So we scored 78 more points outside of the paint and probably free throws and whatnot. And I think overall, as you guys look at the highlights on the screen, I think overall this game was up and down, very emotional. We really had the time to look at some of the key players for the Knicks and some of the key players for the Celtics. They pushed us to the brink. They had people that had the ability to close. They had people that had the ability to rebound the ball. They had people with the ability to pass the ball as well. They were finding ways. The Knicks I think it was more so them capitalizing on the issues that the Knicks had in regards to, I guess, spacing, team chemistry a little bit. That needs to get a bit better. Spacing the floor, quality shots. Remember, even though this team has been practicing together, they're getting a rhythm for each other. You need in-game stuff. You need in-game sessions. And I think tonight, Mitch really helped out with his rebounds, which is something that we so could have used. There were a few times where I think Kemba had good shots or he had nice looks overall, made some threes that were really nice. RJ and his defense against Tatum was fantastic. I think Evan coming in and trying to make a claim was really nice. I was worried a little bit during the first half that RJ was going to get lost. And as soon as I got worried, that's when he started to go off, right? So I had no real issue. My worries were quelled, I guess you can say. Julius Randle, fantastic work. I think he just really did his thing. For the Celtics, I really thought that they did a great job at coming back and that fighting spirit and trying to make sure that Julius Randle did not get one-on-one plays because he was killing them for a while in the third quarter. Him and RJ got hot. And I think this team has a better identity when RJ and Julius are the two main players, and everyone else kind of works around them. Because for a while in that game, this team, I don't feel had the chemistry where they said, okay, well, we're going to give this ball to this person. We're going to give this ball to that person. They almost had to kind of look for it a little bit. and find some of their teammates. And I think as you build up more chemistry, as we get to game 2, as we get to game 3 against the Celtics, right? We'll see what's going on more. I want Kemba to not keep high-fiving his old teammates. And a few plays, I think he had a little lopsided judgment. And after a while, the second overtime, Thibs said, you know what, I need to bring in a fresh Derrick Rose because he will probably provide more. And he did. He had, everyone else was tired on the floor except for Derrick Rose, it looked like, for a little bit in that second overtime, because he really, really pushed the ball up, made some pretty cool shots, which I thought was really good. Obi, he had 2 threes that he shot that I didn't like that he took. But he got better. Remember that he got these minutes because there was no Taj and there was no Noel. So it took that for Obi to get his minutes, but he got his minutes. He's a fast guy. He runs the lane really well. He's a rhythm player. You get dunks. He can shoot the occasional 3, which I think is really good. It's a nice little piece to add to, and he's also a good little trade piece if you think about it. Nice performance. Tired. Everybody was tired. Everybody was nervous. Schroeder kind of worried me a little bit because of how intense he was with his shot and the fact that it was just going in so well, which I thought was really nice for him because he lost all that money just to get the 1 year, $5 million. So it's a contract year for him. Brown, what can I say about Brown? Disgusting, man. 46 points in 46 minutes. If Tatum's on, the Knicks don't win. I don't think that the Knicks were able to win because RJ shut him down. But if Tatum, that Brown-Tatum duo with Smart, those guys could go for like 70 sometimes. 30 for one of them, 30 for Brown, 25 or 30 for Tatum, and then Smart will get the rest and he gets some assists and stuff like that. Their bigs were defensively nice and they scored really well. Once teams get an idea of who their bigs are, I'm curious to see how the Celtics will look. And for the Knicks, I'm curious to see how the teams will adjust to them when their entire rotation is in, for the most part, like meaning all the players that we know are typically going to play will play. And the team itself has more of an identity of what they are. Are they the defensive Knicks of last year where they were scoring here and there? I think some of the shots, yes, in the game yesterday were tough, but manageable. And I really felt we took the time to try to get back. But the Celtics, even though we had an 11-point lead, that wasn't safe because they kept coming back. They kept coming back. So the Knicks have to learn closing out in the fourth quarter, which would be nice, and also making sure, because we got hot in the third and we got a little hot in the second too, making sure that we close out the half and then closing out the fourth. And a lot of that starts with, Thibs had his bench in when their starters were in. And there was a point when they were starting to come back and then Thibs had to put everyone back in. But I don't think he knew that they would go to double overtime, which was intense, which was very intense. But overall, I would say a good win. I think we didn't have to go 2 in a row because coming up Friday, we have the Magic, which, to be honest with you, will probably be a little bit easier of a performance. But we'll see. We'll see what happens because they have a team. They have a team and it's a professional team. I don't think we'll be too tired because we see them Friday and Sunday. But then after that, I think it's the 76ers. So I think Knicks are away in Orlando on Friday and then come Monday. Come Sunday, they're going to be home against the Magic. But overall, a good game. A nail biter. I think a lot of defensive lapses by the Knicks, which they can probably clean up. But overall, pretty decent. A pretty good game. And I'm glad that we had the opportunity to get a win because a team like the Celtics, who They can be amazing or they can be a 500 type team. We had the opportunity to get up ahead in the series head-to-head matchup against the Celtics, but also our division as well, which let's see what happens when those division records and the conference records come into play with these sort of things. Very, very important. Protect home court and try your best to win as many division games as you can. And because outside of that, you have your conference and then you have the West Coast. So you work on these sort of little things to accomplish as the Knicks, as they're trying to build their identity and get themselves up a bit more in this league. We have some work to do. We have to make sure that we stop Brown, Tatum, and Schroeder, and Smart is their 4 guys along with their bench. Their bench is okay. Maybe nothing to go cry home about too much. I think Schroeder came off the bench for that game, but we got the first time to see when Kemba isn't working, how D Rose will play. And I think that really gave us a good indication of, okay, Kemba, he's got some jitters, he's got some nerves, he's home, his mom's is there, but this game is tight and we need people to kind of step up. So Thibs benching him in the 4th, I think was really good. In second overtime was really good. Get his legs under him. D Rose was fresh. Randle, fantastic. Randle, it's like he hasn't even missed a beat, to be honest with you. I don't want RJ to get lost in the shuffle, and I would like Kemba and Fournier to realize that they are, at least in my opinion, secondary to RJ and Julius, who are main stars. And towards the end of second overtime, we had Mitch there too, which I thought was really good. Fantastic game. Great win, everybody.